we must continue to have an engagement like this to share our thoughts with global leaders and scholars, be able to present whatsoever we have learned on this platform to relevant stakeholders like government and the society at large, because at the end of the whole thing, the benefit will go to the larger society. So today, the core, my core presentation will be based on the benefits derivable from this kind of engagement, because sincerely, I must confess, this is one of the most impactful community I've ever been part of. So I see need why we have to continue like this. I've learned so much from the likes of Sir Kapi, Professor Vishnu, Sir Bhaskaran, and a whole lot of others. I have been thinking on diversifying and like adding to what we do, different from engineering supplies in terms of community development, because I share this view religiously. So today, these are the contents we are going to be looking at: the importance of effective stakeholder engagement in community development, understanding the stakeholder engagement, benefits of stakeholder engagement, strategies for maximizing the benefit of stakeholder engagement in community development initiatives, and importance of ongoing communication, collaboration, and capacity building. I would like to just rush through this before I share some of the impact this platform has really added to people's life, not only me. I'm just one individual who have benefited from this platform, and the best way we can make this more impactful, apart from this regular discussions we have on this platform, is to really share this idea with relevant stakeholders and the community that are meant to be the final beneficiary and our future generation. So what do we understand by stakeholder engagement? Is stakeholder engagement in source, including those that have vested interest in projects or decisions to ensure their perspectives are considered. Community development focuses on enhancing the overall well-being and sustainability of our community through various initiatives addressing its needs and aspirations. The importance of effective stakeholder engagement in community development initiatives. We have the inclusivity that let's carry everybody along, both the beneficiaries and the policy makers. This kind of collaboration, this stakeholder collaboration, it will enhance our decision making. Before now, there are different ways by which I make my decision, but through this platform, I'm beginning to have a better way of making my decisions as regards my business and the environment. Building trust and relationships. But these are also part of importance of the stakeholder engagement. Like when you explain what you do over and over again, I can trust it to be safe for my community or safe for our business environment. Sustainable solutions. We've shared a lot of fantastic ideas on this platform on how we can continue to different champions have brought into this platform, like in terms of creating awareness, selling ideas to the prospective interest groups. So we not just, you as researchers will not just be there struggling to see which solution you can provide to the community without having the avenue to make to make noise about your discoveries and solutions. Accountability and transparency. When we collaborate, when we engage ourselves, we'll be more accountable. Like you can checkmate me, you can check me. I might be doing things differently, but when we engage ourselves, You can try to make corrections about things I do wrongly that could have impact on either the policy making or the community. We have opportunity to maximize resources. Like I've seen a lot of people that are better than I am on this platform in terms of resources. So the likes of Bashkaran, who is an expert in digital solutions and applications. So I have future plan in having some applications to drive my ideas and insights. So I can leverage on his resources, on his experience, that will help to enhance whatever I want to do. Empowerment and ownership. We empower ourselves with knowledge. We, at the other hand, takes the knowledge that we've been empowered with to the larger community. For instance, I was trying to set up a new business entirely that could be more impactful to our society. So while during the process of market testing, I realized that the project is not just about making profit as a businessman, it's also impactful. There are some idle hands I've been able to engage, and they were able to make earnings for the 3 days that we did the pilot test. We're able to have meaningful impact into their finances. So when we are collaborating like this, the ideas we share will definitely, at the end of the day, impact lives directly, like in terms of finance, in terms of awareness, in terms of knowledge sharing. So conflict resolution, we all understand what this meant. Adaptability and flexibility. Like we have the Sabashkaran's innovation about carbon footprint. I've been talking with doctor to see, okay, what he has there that has been working in Singapore, how can it be effective in Nigeria? Can Nigeria environment adapt to it? Is it useful in Nigeria? And if it is useful, as we continue to grow, as we continue to share our thoughts, it becomes more easier. We have more knowledge to share together. And the measurable impact at the end of the day, we all have a society, a beautiful society to leave behind to the coming generation if we continue to meet. So there are different types of stakeholder: internal stakeholder, external stakeholder, primary stakeholder, and secondary stakeholders. All of us will understand the basic understanding of what I am trying to sell out here. The internal stakeholders, like we now on this platform, whatsoever the idea we share on this platform, like we could be viewed as the internal stakeholder on this SLSP platform for now. The external stakeholders, what solutions are we trying to bring together here, and who are to benefit from these solutions? They are not here when we are planning all these things, when we are sharing this idea, but at the end of the day, this solution will definitely get to certain people to benefit from. Those are the external stakeholders. The primary stakeholder and secondary stakeholder are a bit relative to what I've just explained to save our time. There are a lot of benefits of stakeholder engagement. It enhances transparency and trust within the community. It fosters collaboration, cooperation among community. It increases community support and ownership of development. It enhances project outcome and long-term opportunity for everyone. So the key benefits of stakeholder engagement in community development includes fostering collaboration, ensuring diverse perspectives are considered, building trust and credibility, and increasing the effectiveness of sustainability initiatives. There are different strategies by which individual might wants to benefit from this stakeholder engagement. In my own business way, the capacity I have is, okay, how do we make noise about the achievements of these solution champions? make some beautiful presentations, share their presentations, share their ideas with people we believe can drive the idea. So each individual will work around what he feels good for him to see how you can benefit and also impact others from this kind of engagement we are having. Like the importance of this particular communication, ongoing collaboration, communication, and capacity building. We cannot measure the distance we see we are doing on this closed platform. We cannot measure the long-term effect of what to my own society I've been seeing how impactful this whole thing will be at the end, because apart from what I have been known with, which is the office supplies through Sharp Solution, I'm beginning to see reasons why we must make more impact on our society. I'm beginning to see reasons why we must create opportunity for people different from my previous thoughts or my previous way of doing business. It was just business and profit. So the conclusion of my presentation, like before I became the part of this global support, global initiative, before I joined this platform, nothing runs on my head different from business, profit, and luxurious lifestyle. But as soon as I start sharing idea, listening to these great leaders like the likes of Sakapi, Professor Bishnu, Sabaskaran, and a lot of other solution champions, I've changed tremendously. Like I've evolved. So it is not just communication and conversation as we think it is. On my own end alone, I can boast of having impact life through this platform. I am confident that the last 2-3 weeks in Nigeria, apologies to the vegetarians here, in Nigeria, we have serious issues like sorry for the breakup. In Nigeria, we have serious issues with food. Like before, when I was trying to expand my business in Lagos, so I wanted to open a new branch. So I had reason to be in Lagos for some time. Yeah, I reside in the northern part of Nigeria where we have food in abundance. So when I got to Lagos, I started falling sick. And I was now asking myself, I don't fall sick this frequently when I was in Abuja. So what happened in Lagos, what we consume, both at the public restaurants and also in various households. So like the proteins they get in the market are already contaminated, are properly preserved.
I think you're... So hold on, that we are going to have a special session for her because she is our guest and our global champion. But she said that whatever it may take, that she is going to feature on this very platform today. And she is actually taking excuse from one of the conferences that is going on around the world to give us a brief about herself, to introduce herself to this very platform. And that is Dr. Laya Gadar. You are most welcome.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Sorry for just being so in a hurry. I'm at a conference here also, and I don't want to just miss this session with you today. First of all, thank you for the amazing introduction. And I'm so honored and glad that I'm with you today. And it was really, I'm grateful for just inviting me to share one of my inspiring, successful journey. I would like to start speaking about it. Just give me 1 minute to open my speech. 1 minute. Okay, here it is. Because when a person just really plan to be successful or to just plan for to do a lot of achievements, he just become addicted to it. He can't stop even just having one achievement or so. First of all, my journey started when I planned for to work on my professional development. Then things just went forward by taking the course of training of trainers, and I decided that I'm gonna be this trainer that gonna inspire everyone. And this is what happened, seriously, because I planned for this, and I've become, first of all, started with a local trainer giving. Are you all with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Yes. Okay. I've started giving English courses in person among my surroundings, and things turned to be globally by giving webinars to different teachers. This really was kind of inspiring to me, because everything was just non-profit. I didn't ask for anything. Instead, I just asked for just to benefit others, share my expertise related to what I've gained from my experience in teaching, in consulting, in everything I've done in my life. And then things just went forward more by just being a global trainer, presenting webinars. Dr. Noli, I guess, is a witness here. I don't know if he's with us. Then I started to just think of sharing in different conferences, global speaker. And finally, I found myself organizing global conferences, taking the role of hosting everyone, talking to them, contacting them, which was the most amazing achievement, and let me say the most amazing, inspiring journey that I've experienced till now. And here I am with you today, also globally, and waiting for more achievements, or planning for more achievements with you, hopefully, and with other global educators as well.
Wow. Thank you so much. And
thank you
really
for you also.
That very we really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Sorry for being so fast.
Yeah. Everybody is inspired, and of course, we are going to have another wonderful session with you. We wish you all the best at your conference.
Of course.
We look forward to a very beautiful report from that very conference and some other activities around the world that they have been partaking in. Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Mr. Shehu, sorry, she actually rushed out of that very conference, and we need to honor our dear global guests, and these are the people and the reason why we are here. Without them, there is nothing we can achieve, and it's an honor that we have such an erudite and globally renowned scholars and also leaders all the way from Lebanon joining us on this very program, on this very program. Thank you. So, Mr. Shehu, in 2 minutes, wrap up your presentation.
Okay. Can you hear me, Doctor?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, on the final note, there are some things we do not know before now that I would like to be the one to ask question on this question and discussion. I would like to be the one asking our global leaders and sustainability champions. I would like to ask them this question. The though it is not proper, I should be the one answering questions, but please, they should permit me to ask this as a student of knowledge. So I would like to pose a question that addresses critical challenges facing Nigeria. In a country grappling with unemployment and food security issues, we are blessed with vast forest reserves, teeming with economic potentials, including the cultivation of crops like cocoa, oil palm, and various food items. As a businessman, deeply concerned about forest. Before now, I was not concerned, but now I'm concerned because of the knowledge we've acquired. But I still want to confirm which one is better. We have unemployment issues. We have food security gap. Which should we prioritize as the available land for that, the available fertile land in this part of country for now is our forests that have been preserved over the years. So which should we prioritize? Creating employment and enhancing food production, or should I focus on preserving the integrity of our forests? I would like our global leaders to help us shed more light into this, because for the future to come, we need to take care of today. So which is which? We have preparations for farming, like some hectares of land, but these are in the deep forest reserves. Should we go ahead and cultivate this land to improve our means of livelihood, or we should just leave the forest for the wildlife to enjoy their lives? So good morning and thank you everybody for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks to Dr. Davis.
You are going to agree with me that when you begin to query the knowledge, then priority setting, because you need a focus, you need a direction of where to go to. So let's quickly move to the next presentation of Ms. Aminchi Nicodemus. So your question is going to be responded to before we close the session, when we open the review of the presentation.
Is it visible? Can you see my slides?
We can see it clearly now. We can see
all right, sorry for that distraction, please. My name is Aminchi Nicodemus, as earlier introduced, and from northern Nigeria. I will be speaking on the topic, the role of individual and society in sustainable development. Sorry. I'm trying to see how I can minimize this.
You can go on, that's no problem.
All right, because it's covering my slides, so.
Okay, you can go on once we can hear you. And we can
all right,
see
the role of individual and society in sustainable development. First of all, we would like to know what sustainable development is. And we know that we've been singing, we've been saying it, and it is something that we need to make more emphasis. We need to make it known to the world that there is need to promote sustainable development. Sustainable development is making choices that satisfy current needs while ensuring that resources are preserved for future generations to meet their own needs as well. So when we look at what sustainable development is all about, it is not just for us, but for generations to come. So in investing our strength, our knowledge, our creativity, our innovation in sustainable development, we are bringing solution for now and for the future. right? I am taking time to say this because you cannot just play a role on something you do not have broader understanding of. You know, people are taking this likely as if it's something that should just be said, or it is just part of the other country that have been affected with this pandemic. Well, we are going through these things globally. Now, the importance of balancing economic, social, and environmental consideration is to ensure that economic growth is inclusive and beneficial to all members, society, while also safeguarding the environment for the future, like I said earlier. Now, let's dive into the main thing, which are the roles of individual and society. Now, the first of all, we'd like to look at what role can an individual play to promote sustainable development. First, community engagement. Individual can actively engage with their community to promote sustainability initiative and advocacy. You know, this may involve participating in community events, community projects like planting of trees, cleaning up parks, markets, and also volunteering in schools. These are some of the sustainable development goals that individual can contribute into making sure that these goals are being met. Community engagement is one of the role an individual can play in promoting sustainable development goal. Then secondly is lifestyle choices. Individual can make conscious lifestyle choices that minimize environmental footprint and promote sustainability in their environment or wherever they are. You know, what you do, sometimes you're not making use of electricity, you cannot off your electronics. These are some of the lifestyle that one needs to be conversant with. If you're not making use of electronics, water, just minimize waste of these things. These are the lifestyles that we are to adopt in this time. And also awareness and education. Individuals can educate themselves about sustainable issues such as climate change and biodiversity loss and all the issues that we are undergoing or the pandemic we are facing as a result of these things, climate change and all the 17 goals of sustainable development. By raising awareness and sharing knowledge like we are doing, I want to commend the efforts of Dr. Said. This is one of the responsibility he has taken upon himself as an individual to create awareness about sustainable development, and we are educating ourselves collectively that we will go out there as an individual to educate people and to create more awareness about these things. And the fourth one is innovation and entrepreneurship. Individuals can contribute to sustainable development through innovation and entrepreneurship by developing new technologies. I can remember a couple of times we had a story of a young man, Williams, I think from Malawi, who became known for building a windmill from scrap materials just to generate electricity for his village. I know we are familiar with this. These are some of the things we need to do as an individual to promote the role we need to play in order to create innovation and entrepreneurship to promote sustainable development goals. And again, lifelong learning and adaptation. We all know that as a couple of times, sometimes back, I went to a village, I was telling them about this climate change. Someone said it's because God is angry with us. That's why we're facing this condition. And I said, some of the activities we do are likely 90% contribution to what we are facing. And they don't want to adapt. Okay, I'm used to I'm used to driving my car with AC and I don't want to use bike. This is something that if you are used to it, and if you know the problem we are facing, you need to just adapt, right? Some of the lifestyle that we were living, they are not necessarily to be used now, because these are situations that need to be tackled. So we should be adaptable to adopt new solutions to mitigate these issues that we are facing. And the second thing I will talk about is society's role. Number one role a societies play is policy influence. Society can influence policymakers to prioritize sustainable development through various means, such as voting for environmentally conscious leaders. You know, I am proud to say today that in my state, in the northern state, Nigeria, in my state, Taraba State to be precise, we are having a free education from secondary schools to primary schools, free education. And I believe if we had voted a leader that is not conscious or does not prioritize sustainable development goals, definitely he's not going to buy into this idea of making free education in the state. These are the leaders that we vote them because they consciously have sustainable development goals in mind. They want to promote that. So I am proud to say that my state is practicing free education because we voted for a good leader that have the mindset or that is conscious of supporting sustainable development goals. And again, the second thing is social equity. Sustainable development aims to improve the well-being of all people while ensuring that future generations can meet their needs. Of course, society plays a critical role in promoting social equity and justice, including addressing issues of poverty, inequality, and social exclusion. I will be waiting for the question that Mr. Shehu asked earlier. I think this will tackle this particular point here. The next thing is the role that society plays is advocacy and activism. You know, civil society groups, NGOs, and grassroots organizations often lead the charge in advocating for sustainable policies and practices. Like myself, in my organization, I take it as a responsibility or part of my thematic area to advocate for sustainable development goals to be met, because our voices, a single person cannot make things known more than when it is being done collectively. So as a society, if you have an NGO, you have a group of a civil society group, or you belong to any of the groups, these are the responsibilities, these are the role we can play to make it known, to advocate for some of the issues we are passing through. And I'm trying to rush for time because of time. And also corporate responsibility. Corporate responsibilities or corporate citizenship refers to the ethical and voluntary actions that businesses take to contribute to the well-being of society beyond their legal obligations and profit motive. I went out yesterday to buy some stuffs, and when I saw I came across a man that sells food items, and I was telling him, why can't you keep your environment clean? I mean, we are humans, you should do that. He said it is not his responsibility. I say, you are making profit. Yes, it's not your legal obligation, but as an individual that you are using this, you are making profit, you should take full responsibility in making sure your environments are clean. Right? So these are some of the things that corporate responsibility society do. The next thing is, I'm almost rounding up. So doctor, don't be scared. All right. In order to balance the individual and society roles, there's need for collaboration between these two. There's need for collaboration. And the number one thing that needs to be done is collective action. When individuals come together to come together collectively, they amplify their impact and influence. I told someone that if you don't have an initiative to provide solution to sustainable development, your voice can amplify the needs awareness to people around you to know that this is the problem we are facing. So collectively, society and individual can come and team up, like civil rights movement, environmental protests, and so on. These are some of the collaboration that individuals and society can do, just like Mr. Dr. Said is doing. He's a body of he's doing his best, and he's collaborating with other global authors or leaders to make sure that this sustainable development goals, it's been observed and taken care of in his own way. Then number 2 is advocacy and awareness. Collective effort can influence policymakers and drive policy change for sustainable development. And also grassroots movements. The power of grassroots movement in mobilizing communities, community guidance and recycling programs. When we come together, when an individual and society team up, they can bring out some of this initiative that can actually mitigate some of the issues or some of the challenges or the goals of sustainable development. Now, in conclusion, sustainable development is a shared responsibility that one person cannot do. It requires collective effort, just like we are coming together as a team to make known what sustainable development is and our roles as an individual to be able to promote sustainable development goals. These are some of the things or some of the issues or some of the effort that we can make as an individual, collectively, to mitigate through these challenges. And together we have the power to create a world where prosperity and environmental responsibility go hand in hand. And it is time for us to join our hands and build a brighter and more sustainable future for all and for our generation and generations to come. Thank you. Doctor, I hope I've kept to time. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. You are still within the time. You are still within the time.
Wow, that's amazing.
I don't know. I don't know. We have Mr. Christian Ejimadu from UK, because I just remember that he has another training session and he just want to skip time to make his presentation on a very special topic related to what we are doing. And also I want to especially and also recognize the presence of Dr. Lencio Cadero, all the way from Philippines. Thank you for joining, sir.
Yes. Thank you for mentioning my name. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Yes,
good morning.
Good morning. You can share your screen.
Thanks for the opportunity. And this is my first time. But let me say I'm the first joiner. And I want to say thank you for this opportunity to express my view about global issues. I would like to share my screen, so I'll make it so quick. Don't mind the background because I'm working at the moment, so I have to take some time out.
Yes, while you are trying to share your screen, let me say that Mr. Christian Chukwu is actually a graduate scholar based in the UK, and he is planning to actually specialize in one of the aspects of sustainability solutions around the world. And I am happy to actually have you on this very platform presenting.
All right, thank you so much.
That's very special topic.
All right. My topic this morning will be on electronics and electrical wastes, also known as e-waste. And here is my biography. Can you see my slide? Is it clear?
Yes, we can see it. Don't worry. You can speak to it.
Oh, okay. So I'm a graduate of first I studied history and diplomatic studies from Taşköprü University, and also MA in Istanbul as political science and international relations. And lastly, I had MSc in digital politics and sustainable development and other certifications. And the list goes on. Don't let me bore you with those time because we don't have much time. And my topic this morning will be on, like I said, it will be on e-waste, and this is the content. First, we talked about the framing e-waste, sources of e-waste, risk analysis, major pollutants, mitigating e-waste, recommendations, and conclusion. Now, the first, what is e-waste? There are different scholars, different view, but I picked out 4, so not to waste time. Electronics, e-waste can be defined as electronics and electrical waste that are disposed of or unwanted recycled. The World Health Organization has said that e-waste is the fastest growing solid stream globally, reaching 53.6 million tons in 2019. And hence, only 17% has been recycled and collected worldwide. So further that, according to WHO, it classified e-waste into 6 segments. So the first segment is cooling and freezing equipment, which has to do with large items such as air conditions, heat pumps, freezers, or refrigerators. And the next one is monitors and screens. Television, laptops, notebooks, tablets, monitors. And also we have lamps, fluorescent lamps, and the rest. We also have large equipment such as laundry machines, dishwashers, electric stove, printing machines, copying equipment. And also we have the small equipment, microwaves, toasters, vacuum cleaners, and we also have small IT and telecoms equipment such as personal computer, mobile phones, and all that. And yes, so I try to collect some data as a data analyst. So I try to collect some data online, trying to project from 2019 to 2030. 2030 happens to be, I have to peg it to 2030 because it has to be one of the international sustainable goals. So by then, I think we are going to reach the threshold of 1.5 centigrade, according to UN. So there is a development here. From 1920, it was not that too many of them, but it grows and astronomically from 2023 down to 2024, the present time. And it would definitely, as the population increases in the world, so as our e-waste will jump. So by 2030, we are going to have 724,000 metric tons of e-waste around the globe, collected or non-collected. We are in big problem. So here, I also go further to look into, I collected some data from United World Health Organization to analyze what are the generated e-waste, waste we've generated across the world in present time. Now, here I have, from what we've gathered here, I got to understand that so far we've generated a lot of small equipment, and under that we have, when we talk about small equipment, it means that let me check, a minute please. So for small equipment, it means that we've generated a lot of mobile phones waste in the world recently, and which means if you check, personally, some of us have 2 mobile phones, some have 3 mobile phones, some have a lot of, like I have 2 laptops in my house. So sometimes what am I using them to do? I don't know. But because I have to learn some data analysis, so I have to use 2 laptops, and a lot of things are happening in the world right now, and we should ask ourselves, why are we generating it? So far, so good. In 2024, we generated a lot. So for example, here we have the small equipment we've generated 20,400 billions of kilograms of e-waste on phones, laptops, and wristwatches, a lot of them, and followed by the large equipment, excluding photovoltaic panels. So that is it. And the next in line, so I also collected data on e-waste that has been collected and recycled as at present time in 2024. So with the world as across the world, only 50 so far, only the largest amount was the screen monitors, which is 51 billion metric tons of e-waste have been collected so far, which is 44% out of 100% of e-waste we've collected. So, which means we still have a lot of them outside. And I can also use my filter to see. Let me see if this is going to work. Okay. Values, names. Oh, no. Okay, I have to let that go. So I'm trying to see if I can filter it so that you can have a glimpse of what I'm trying to say, to check how many e-waste you've generated and, collected as at 2024. So the next one is the risk analysis of e-waste. What are the risks that e-waste will pose to the environment where we live? For example, we have the impact on the soil. Improper e-waste disposal leads to its accumulation in landfills, inappropriate dumping sites. This can result to leaching of heavy metals like mercury, cadmium, leading into the soil, distorting the plant and crops growth and contaminating the underground water source. These harms may persist over an extended period. Hence, leaching of heavy metals deteriorates and depletes soil microorganisms. So it has a huge adverse effect on the soil. So microorganisms that aid plant growth won't grow because it had been depleted due to e-waste, due to some substances that has been discharged into the underground water, which is not good at all. And apart from that, it also affects the air we breathe, the way where we live. The ecosystem air quality will be so low because the odor or the odious smell that comes out from it affects us. So we can't breathe properly, and it affects everyone living in the ecosystem, which is not sustainable to our health and our livelihood. And what about the impact on water quality?
Mr. Christian.
Yeah.
Mr. Christian.
Yes.
Please just a minute. Just a minute. Dr. Roy is about to leave, and since he has joined us from this beginning of this session, let's have his comments and remarks before he takes his leave. Then Dr. Kaderon will take off from him, and then Dr. Vishnu Padabose, and then Professor Khalid Hamid. So, Dr. Roy, thank you for the time, and let's have your comments, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting, and thank you very much for the nice talks. Actually, to be honest, like I don't work in these things, but like kind of I'm learning quite a lot about these things. And to be honest, we, as I think Ms. Amenichi said very rightly, that it should start from individual, and then we can go it in global or in our neighborhood and all these things. Because in a daily life, if you think, like, we waste quite a lot of water and electricity and many other things like that. So if you, and any, I think sustainable development or sustainable community, I think it should start from your own home or from your own personal perspective. And if you can slowly kind of spread that thing towards your neighbors, towards your community, towards your city, basically, I think we can achieve quite a lot of things in this aspects. So it's really great work throughout the world, I think, is going on, and I'll appreciate Dr. Sahib's initiative, I will say, in this regard, which kind of is spreading now like a wildfire. And I can see that we have quite a lot of people that are working on it, and they have kind of joined this community, which is really appreciated. So thank you very much for all, and thanks again, Dr. Sao, for inviting me. And definitely, I look forward to any future, opportunities like this. So thank you, and I'm very sorry that I had to leave because of this time constraint. So definitely, I'll see you guys again later on. And thank you so much again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much. We really enjoyed you. So, Mr. Christian, you can continue. Mr. Christian, you can continue, please.
All right, thank you so much. And also we have lastly, we have the impact on climate change. So waste contribute to climate change by releasing green gas during the disposal process from 2024 From 2024 to 2020, e-waste contributed 28 metric tons of carbon dioxide, thus exacerbating global footprint. So in a simple shell, it contributes GHG to climate change, which is not good at all for the environment. And apart from that, e-waste also have the health risk. Number one, dioxins are toxic and can damage human system from substances that are released into the ground. One of the toxic substance is dioxin, which is not good for human immune system. It damages it, and what is damaged is a big problem. And our immune system is like our protector, and once it's damaged, we can easily get sick, or any other will be more vulnerable to any sickness. And number two, we have distorted reproduction of pregnant women and prolonged illness. Just like, when you have a pregnant woman and the human system is damaged, definitely it will distort the capacity to bear child. And also causes respiratory issues, DNA damage, and can lead to cancer and cardiovascular disease through typhoid impairment. In a nutshell, in this part, it's just talking about like what you inhale, how it affects our lungs. And, when you inhale something that is very toxic, it affects every part of our body and can lead to some different illness. Here we have lower scores on neonatal behavior, neurological assessments. This talks about ADHD. It affects a lot of things, says it affects our immune system, which happens to be our protector. So there's no way you have the capacity to work, to be a full human in one way, in one capacity or the other. Then I have a lot of over 82 countries in the world, but because of the large data set, I had to manage it to few countries using the European Union countries as example. So I selected major pollutants in European Union. But so far, so good. Out of these countries being selected, Germany remains number one out of it. Germany has contributed a large emission and also contributed e-waste to the world, which is not good at all. Of course, each state have opportunities to change that and make sure that everything, all our society or ecosystem is more habitable. So that's the problem. I'm sorry, I'm at work and the noise can distort you. And also, lastly, let me just talk about my recommendations so that I won't waste your time. Now, recommendations are number one, electronics and electrical lifespan. Manufacturers should ensure that the lifespan of electronics and electricals are elongated, not shortened. Sometimes you see some electronics say that the warranty or the guarantee is just 4 years or 3 years. Then after that, gone. So we should have more than that, like 7 years or 10 years. And also we have ESG disclosure. ESG simply means environment, society, and government. So how will companies that are producing disclose what they are doing? One, how do they get the materials? And are the materials degradable or, biodegradable? When is they decomposed? Is it good for the environment? Will it pose danger to everyone living in this environment? And secondly, thirdly, we talk about stakeholder engagement. So the stakeholder in this aspect has to be with producers, like companies, and also the society which we live in. We need to speak them out from the shell that, okay, this is what you are doing. What have you done to ensure to reduce e-waste in your surroundings? Because your surroundings will be messy and inhabitable if you continue this way. So how are we going to ensure that we have a well-managed disposable site? And also, we talked about buying refurbished electronic and electrical equipment. So most times people prefer to buy new items. Meanwhile, we have a lot of good items that are refurbished, that are recycled and taken back to the company for refurbishment. So sometimes we should as well patronize second-hand or pre-owned items to reduce, because the more you buy new items, the old one, you dispose them. So why don't you just buy refurbished one to keep the old one rather than buying a new one and contributing to waste, which is not proper. And also we have the state policy. So now the question is, what are the policies that states are putting in place to ensure that we curb e-waste? Not only e-waste as it could be, waste generally. So what will happen to an individual throwing phones or any electrical and electronics indiscriminately anywhere? So what are the policies? What are the penalties if those attitude is found? And also, we can also use civil society. What is the impact of the civil society to educate people on how to dispose wastes and also to ensure that our environments are livable? So I come to the conclusion by practicing responsible consumption, effective recycling, promoting awareness, and advocating for robust policy and repairs, we can mitigate environmental and health risk and foster a sustainable future. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a very wonderful one. And when I said that the others that are on the list or on the lineup should wait till next week, I was actually begging people because of how to manage the time. And we can see now that it is actually playing out. And we have quickly, we will take another presentation before we take the last one. And that is from Jamiu Dansi. Jamiu Dansi is actually excusing time. He's actually excusing time to attend this very session. And he is actually undergoing training to represent Africa in China in few months, maybe next month or the upper month, representing Africa in the IT competition, where he has led at national level and at African level. So he is also very interested and keen about this very platform, GSLSN, and he said that he is going to present his own idea. And Jamiu, you are welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Said. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity to be part of the global community. Okay, I'll share my screen now.
Yes, why you are sharing your screen? Yes, sir. Mr. Christian, thank you so much for spending time out of your work schedule to actually attend this very session. So whatever the comment is from our panel review, you are going to watch it after the session, because it is always recorded and we share it at at the end of the day, so that you can watch what the review is going to be like, and what are the other contributions that you are going to especially borrow from the idea of the experts that are on our panel. So thank you so much for that time. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your presentation. Yes, Jamil, your presentation is not coming up.
It's coming up, sir. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, just like Nicodemus, we have the same topic, so I won't be wasting time on it. She has said most of what I also prepared in my presentation as well. So I'll be speaking on the role of individuals and society in sustainable development goals. My name is Jamil Dansi, as introduced by Dr. Said. So I've divided my presentations into these following sections. I will start with the introduction. I'll talk about what development is, what is sustainable development. I will put us through the concept of sustainable development and how we put us through the role of individuals and societies in a sustainable development. But before I start my presentation, I really want to introduce myself. I'm a fresh graduate with a telecommunications engineering degree from Federal University of Technology, Minna. And I'm particularly interested in how the advancement in telecommunications, especially green networking and cloud computing, can contribute to a more sustainable future for Nigeria and the world at large and the continent. So I'm passionate about building a secure and sustainable IT solution. Okay, so I'll start with the introduction of what sustainable development is. So sustainable development is seeks to meet the present need without compromising the future generation by integrating economic, social, and environmental consideration for lasting well-being. So just as Nicodemus explained, I have the same explanation for sustainable development. It's all about development and what, in the course of the development, we need to care about what the future generation, whatever actions we are taking during our time, we need to put the people that are coming after us into consideration. And what is development? In basically, development is more like, okay, we have we want to build a house. The first thing we do is what we have a strong foundation. So the strong foundation is more like the basic needs. Is it food? Is it clean water and all of that? These are basic needs. Then after we have our strong foundation for the house, the next thing we'll be looking at is let's build the walls and the roof. So this is a very important thing, and that is more like providing education, having access to a more sustainable environment. Then after we have the education, we're now talking about we'll be talking about having furnitures and decorations for the house. And this is like having opportunity for everyone to try. So development basically is all about building a strong, a secure, and a happy place for everyone to try. So I've explained what development is already. It's just gradual growth of situation that become more advanced and strong than the previous one. And development is intended to bring a positive change for human beings. So for whatever we are doing, all we are saying is we want our present situation to be better. That is what development is. So the sustainable aspect of it is we need to be conscious of the generations that will live after us. So for whatever action we are taking today, we need to make it a sustainable one. We need to make sure that we are considering the generations that are coming after us. So development is intended basically to bring a positive change for human being and its surrounding. And development may take place by bringing about a change in policy, maybe from the government or from organizations, projects, and legislations. So development is an unfolding of human potential for meaningful participation in economic, social, political, and cultural processes and institutions, so that people can improve their condition. So for whatever, I'm emphasizing on whatever actions we are taking to improve our well-being or our current situation is all about development. So I've explained sustainable development as well. Any development is a development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own need. So we need to, as individuals, we need to be thinking of which action I'm taking today. That if I'm not taking the generations coming into consideration, I'm creating a problem for them. So Groalen Brundtland introduced the concept of sustainable development in 1987, and then he was the Prime Minister of Norway and chairman of the World Commission for Environment and Development. So this is when a sustainable development is what improvement of lifestyle and well-being, and what preserving natural resources and ecosystem for the generations that are coming. But if the ecosystem is no more okay, if it's not okay, the generations that are coming, they will suffer from the actions of the previous people that have used these resources. So the United Nations outlined 17 sustainable development goals, and these are the 17 highlighted. The first is no poverty. They aim to eradicate poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate actions, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institution, and partnership for these goals. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals by the United Nations. So as individuals, we need to look into these sustainable development goals and think of the one that we can do in our own respective capacity. Is it quality education? Just look at it. There are still subsections under each of these. Look at how you can make your own contribution to these sustainable development goals. As individuals, we have our own roles to play. We'll be looking at that as we continue in the presentation. As society, we have civil society organizations, we have non-governmental organizations, and all of that. They all have their roles to play in this, in achieving these 17 sustainable development goals. So I've explained the 17 sustainable development goals I listed is still here. We need to end poverty in all of its form, everywhere. We need to hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. We need to ensure healthy living and promote well-being for all at all ages. We need to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunity for all. We need to ensure access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable modern energy for all. Yes, and these are the rest. I don't want to continue reading what I have here. So I'll talk on the actions of individuals that we need to take to ensure sustainability. So as individuals, these are some actions that we can take to ensure sustainability. One is in sustainable consumption, because what we consume directly or indirectly to contribute to our environment, either positively or negatively. So one of the actions that we can take is we need to be mindful of our shopping as individual. We need to be mindful of what we buy. Is it the one that can be recycled? If it's something that can be recycled, then when we are done using it, we need to do what is expected. So people are becoming more cautious of their purchasing habits, opting for what product made with recycled material, the one produced ethically and with a smaller environmental footprint. So we need to look at it when we are consuming our resources. Same way we need to reduce waste. So there's a growing emphasis on waste reduction strategy like composting, food scrap, using reusable bags and bottles. So these are some of the ways we can conserve the resources that we have for sustainable living. Are you getting a reusable of reducing waste in our communities? Energy efficiency. Individuals are making effort to conserve energy at home by using energy efficient appliances like LED lighting. So these are also one of the ways we can reduce energy consumption. as individuals, we need to think of, okay, if I'm using so materials, what is the result of this in my society, in the community, or in my environment? So by the time we are making this informed decision on our overall consumption, we are also contributing directly or indirectly to achieving the sustainable development goals. So these are also some actions that can be taken by individuals to achieve this sustainable development goals. Smart homes and appliances. This is an aspect of technology and innovation. So individuals should adopt smart homes. Individuals are adopting smart home technology and advances that can help them to monitor and manage energy consumptions more efficiently. So for those that are not in this aspect of technology, what the smart home does is it gives, let me use the aspect of energy as example, the way we can minimize energy usage in our homes. You can have a smart home whereby you'll be able to monitor your appliances. Let's say it's smart energy meter, you can have it in your home. This gives you opportunity wherever you are in the world. You can be able to manage your energy consumption. You can put on your AC, you can put off your freezer. Let's say you are leaving your home, you are going to the office in the morning, and you foresaw that, okay, this thing you put in the freezer needs to be on for like 4 hours. So by the time the 4 hours has elapsed, you can set up automatically you can set up the energy consumption that, okay, if I've utilized so amount of energy, this thing should trigger and it should off automatically. Or you can just log into an app. You monitor the consumption on your energy. Okay, by now I should be able to put off my AC, I should be able to put off my freezer and anything that is consuming energy in my house. By doing that, we are saving energy. This gives us control over our energy consumption. That's for the smart home aspect. Then sharing economy is also another technology way of reducing our the way we contribute to. So sharing economy, you can use platforms like Uber and Bolt, where you want to go to anywhere. You don't need to have your individual cars, or because in the process of using our cars, we're also releasing harmful substances into our environment, and directly or indirectly, it's contributing negatively to the environment. So by using sharing economy, you can use Uber. By that, we reduce the number of people that are using fossil fuel and all of that, because the numbers of cars on the road will be less. You can use Uber, you can use Bolt, closing renting services, also gaining traction in some part of the world. And by doing this, we are promoting resource sharing and reducing individual ownership. Another way is crowdfunding platform. This is where we connect individuals with sustainable projects or business seeking funding. If you have something you want to do, you want to do education, you want to provide training for people, you want to create awareness about something related to sustainable development goals or any projects, you can meet people that can fund the project. So this will make the project to be of impact to the community. Another way is using educational technology. So edtech tools and platforms like online courses, games, and simulation, they can be used to raise awareness about sustainability issues. And this empower individuals with knowledge and skills they need to take action. So that is for the roles of individual. Then we'll talk about the roles of society. The government have their own to play too in sustainable development goals. One of it is regulations. So the government can come up with regulations. The government can implement stricter environmental regulations to curb pollution, protect the ecosystems, and promote resource conservation. Another way, the government can also come up with achieving these sustainable development goals by education and awareness. Government can play a vital role in promoting environmental education and public awareness campaign about sustainability issues. Then civil society actions is also one of the ways we can achieve this sustainable development goal. It's not just enough that we should be relying on government, because for our individuals, as individuals or as organizations, we have our role to play. So the role of civil society actions, one of it is community mobilization. Civil society organization can mobilize communities to participate in environmental protection initiatives like tree planting program, clean up and conservation efforts. By so doing this, we are also contributing to achieving the aim of sustainable development goals. Another action by the civil society is in public arena campaign. Yes, sir.
Can you wrap up now? Can you wrap up now?
Okay, okay.
I can see you have a lot of information. Yeah.
Okay, so okay. So these are just the desired outcome of the sustainable development goals. These are the principles. So I want to leave us with this. Things do not just happen. Sustainable development goals they are doable. So in conclusion, achieving the sustainable development goal requires a collective effort from individuals, business, and government. So we explore the various solutions, and it's time for action now. So I want to encourage all of us to look at the 17 developmental goals and look for the ones we can also do in our respective capacity. So let's work together to build a world that will be made of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for the opportunity, sir.
All the presentations today we have been having are powerful ones. Yeah. They are powerful presentations. Let's take the last one. Then we can now have our Dr. Kaderon and Professor Vishnu to make their comments and also make their remarks, and especially address the question of Mr. Shiu. Then we wrap up for today. It has been a wonderful experience. Loaded, fully loaded, fully loaded, fully loaded. Yes, Ms. Jennifer, the last presenter for today. Let's have you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we
can
anyone
hear me?
Okay, your screen is here. I think doctor is not connecting.
All right.
Immediately. Okay, you can
so
go
can
ahead.
I proceed? All right. So we'll be discussing what sustainable development is and how our actions as individual, whether big or small, can contribute to a better future for all. So what is sustainable development? I've had my fellow speaker said it, Ms. Nicodemus has said it, and as well as Mr. Jamil, that sustainable development is basically meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. How do we judicially use the resources that we have so that we'll be able to keep it and to provide it and to ensure that it is sufficient for the coming generation? And it involves balancing three key pillars, which has been mentioned by Ms. Nicodemus as well: the economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. So how can we balance the social, the environment and the development, what we are coming up with, what scientific research has been making us to develop so far? So how do we balance it with our environment? How do we balance the development, that's the result of the research we've been making so far, and that has been making life easier for us? How do we balance it with our environment? So sustainable development is a complex but important idea. It is a complex one, but it is important for a sustainable generation, to ensure sustainable generation and ensure sustainable living. So it means finding ways to improve our lives today without harming the ability of future generations to do the same. And it is also about considering not just the economic bottom line, but also the social and environmental impact of our actions, because our actions do not only affect us alone, it affects the environment and it affects the social inclusion at large. All right, so sustainable development goals, I'll run over it again. In 2015, the United Nations adopted 17 sustainable development goals as a universal call to action. It is not just to a particular country or to a particular person. We want to work universally and globally to achieve these goals. That's why the United Nations has called upon every country and the universe at large to work together and come up with innovative ideas on how to balance and to achieve these goals. And these goals aim to address global challenges like poverty, hunger, inequality, climate change, and environmental degradation. We have others that are up to 17. And these SDGs are interconnected. It's not just standing alone. None of them is standing alone, because everything is interconnected and interrelated, and everything affects the livelihood of those of this generation and the entire society. So it means that progress in one area can accelerate progress in another area too. That's why we need to work together to achieve these goals. And by 2030, we strive to achieve these goals and create a better future for all. So the SDGs are a global roadmap for achieving sustainable development. They address critical issues, as I've said earlier, and the beauty of SDG is their interconnectedness. Progress in one area like education can lead to progress in health and gender equality. Through education, we can be able to access gender equality and to work on it. And by working together towards these goals, we can create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world for all by 2030. So considering one of these sustainable development goals, I think I'll be majoring, the major one I'll talk about is climate change. Climate change so far has affected the world at large, and it's what leads to climate change is global warming. Global warming. Then how do we come about global warming? It is as a result of the activities. It's as a result of the activities that we engage in. And as I've said earlier, we are talking about, to know the extent of global warming and the causes, we need to talk about science, environment, and innovation. Our science, because we need science to make research. We need the understanding of science to make research and to invent things that will make easier for us as human. Then how do these things that are invented, this equipment, these machines that have been invented, how do they affect the environment and the biodiversity at large? Then when we know how they affect it and we know the solution, and when we know the result of the effect of these machines and the result of the effect of these activities we carry out, our day-to-day activities, then we now come up with innovations, innovative ideas that will help us to curb this impact. Then climate change as a challenge to sustainable development. So climate change is the rising global temperatures threaten ecosystems, livelihoods, and human well-being. Rising global temperatures, as I've said earlier, is the global warming. The global warming leads to climate change, and global warming comes as a result of this, the release of CO2 and other chlorofluorocarbons and every other gases that are trapped in the atmosphere. All these gases are released from the machines we use as a result of using fossil fuels, as a result of using other things that can release, other materials that can release CO2, especially CO2, to the atmosphere. When it is being released to the atmosphere, it does not just go like that. The atmosphere traps it. It traps it, and when it traps the heat from these gases, as a result, as on the long run, these gases will begin to come down because it will begin to reflect back to the earth. It's not going anywhere. It reflects back to the earth, and as it continues, as it keeps reflecting back to the earth, the constant reflection will later lead to global warming and then climate change. A long-term global warming will lead to climate change. And when climate change begins, it will definitely affect our environment, it will affect us, our livelihood, it will affect everything that concerns human. And not just human alone, but every living organisms in the environment. So shifting weather patterns threaten food production to rising sea levels that increase the risk of catastrophic flooding. Weather patterns begin to change when global warming sets in. The normal rainy season, normally in Nigeria, let me use Nigeria because I'm in Nigerian. In Nigeria, before, farmers are able to predict the time rainy season begins and the time dry season sets in. But now their prediction no longer works because weather pattern has been affected and it has been interfered with because of our day-to-day activities, because of global warming and climate change. So this leads to this leads to threat to food production, and the level of sea begins to increase because the ice in the sea will begin to melt, and then it will lead to flooding when rain season comes around. And the impact of global climate change are global in scope and unprecedented in scale. We cannot say we know the level of flooding that will come. We predict, yeah, we know we have scientists that give forecast of what happens next in the next or coming season, and they will be like this area and this area should be ready for flooding, but we cannot tell the level of flooding that is going to occur. And without drastic action today, adapting to this impact in the future will be more difficult and it will be costly. So so scientists have come up with, and that's one of the individual roles, and we can also call it a societal role that we need to play to ensure sustainability. Scientists have come up with a model or a tool to improve sustainability and to be able to calculate and to be able to know the extent at which climate change has occurred, and that is climate modeling. So what do we understand by climate models? They are important tools for improving our understanding and predictability of climate on seasonal, annual, decadal, and centennial timescales. So it helps us to look far. It helps the scientists to look far to what is coming and the effect of climate change that will be coming later in the future. And it simply involves the use of computer programs to understand how our planet is changing by studying how different factors interact to influence a region's climate, how the temperature, how the humidity, and how various factors, how they come together to change and to interact and to influence the region's climate. And they do this by using equations to represent the process and interactions that drive the Earth climate. Climate modeling is just the use of equations because it is they don't want to be novel. They don't want it to be theoretical this time around. We need to come up with tools and with equations that can help us to process the interaction that drives the Earth's climate at large. And this covers the atmosphere, the stratosphere, the oceans, the land, and every region in the Earth. So climate models help us. The importance of climate model is that it help us to investigate the degree to which observed climate changes may be due to natural variability, because we cannot say it's just climate change is only occurs through human activity alone. No, it is not possible. You cannot say, but the major contributor to climate change and to global warming are we humans. That's it, and that's not a disputable fact. But we can also tell that natural variability occurs too. We have sometimes when the earthquake occurs normally, and no one, we can say that maybe due to overpopulation it leads to earthquake or something, but there are wildfires occurs, and that one is not it is limited to human actions. The result is limited to human actions or a combination of both. So it reveals how our actions can affect the future climate. So climate modeling is one of the roles that individual can play. We can come up with actions or with ideas that how do I come up with this? Ideas can come to our mind that how do I use this? Or let me think about this. What can lead or what can happen? What can be a result of climate change in the next 70 years? Let's try to come up with a model and to use tools to forecast what can come up in the next 7 years and 70 years as a result of climate change. So that's what climate modeling is all about. Then what is the role of individual? Aside from this climate modeling, what are the roles of individuals in contributing or in improving sustainability? So individuals play a crucial role in sustainable development through their consumer choices. Ms. Nicodemus said it earlier, that consumer choices, it means selecting eco-friendly products. We can always ensure we use eco-friendly products, the products that can be degradable, and this can reduce consumption and minimize the waste that we have, as said by Dr. Christian. So we can begin to use and can begin to encourage ourselves as individuals to use eco-friendly products. And sometimes I came across something on LinkedIn a few days ago that this woman she has been using the waste, the nylon from Dangote salt. She has been using it to produce bags, to produce things that can still be useful. So those are one of the things we can do. We should use we should use eco-friendly products that can help us to reduce the rates of consumption, to reduce, as stated by Mr. Christian, that we can use things and materials, like we can use second-hand materials instead of creating new ones and using new ones and increasing the waste we have in the environment. So we can minimize waste by considering our consumer choices and also lifestyle choices, conserving resources like water, energy, using sustainable transportation, and reducing our carbon footprint. We have families, we have people that use, in a family of 3, we have 4 cars, 5 cars. When they burn fuels, it leads to the creation of fumes. It releases a lot of CO2 to the environment, and the atmosphere, it traps it, and when it traps it, the heat begins to come down later on and leads to climate change. And this is one of the things that sustainable development. All right, sir. These are one of the things that sustainable goals is trying to change, to look into. So the role of society, We have policy regulation, investment, education and awareness, and international collaboration. We can work together. That's the reason why we have countries, and we have countries, and we have countries come together. We have COP28, the last one they did. It is just to ensure that countries come together to work on achieving these goals. So the power of collective actions, individual actions when combined with societal efforts, creates a powerful force for change. All right, so I will now move to my conclusion. So any economic development action must undertake an environment impact assessment. This is one of the things that will make us to achieve this goal earlier. So any development action that the individual or the society wants to take, they must undertake an environment impact assessment and take into consideration the short, the medium, and the long term, and considering both the negative and positive implications on the environment, the implication of this development that we want to take, of this research that we want to make. We should consider the negative and positive implication on short, on medium, and on long term on our environment, and we should suggest mitigation measures. We should come up with innovative ideas that what if this development or research you're about to make, it causes or leads to a higher degree or level of effect and contribute to global warming in our environment? Can we come up with innovations and ideas to mitigate these measures and to reduce the rate at which the effect will come? And this must be put in place to avoid environmental deterioration, which can further lead to climate change and thereby affect the environment. So considering all this stated by the earlier speakers and myself, I think we can be able to achieve the goals, especially on climate change. We'll be able to achieve it earlier, and by 2030, we'll be able to come up with the desired results. So thank you for listening, and I'll head now. Thank you.
Wow. Like I said, it has been fully loaded. And then Professor Dr. Bishnu can bear me witness on that. And yes, let's have our guest reviewers to also look at all these presentations and also summarize and also make some conclusion. And I want to say that the question posed by Mr. Shield, maybe if we cannot address it today, should be addressed next.
To answer it, so Shehu, so it's about policy. So sometimes the problem with government NGOs and academia, they're trying to shore up their claim to sustainability without actually reaching out to the other. For example, the academe, they always have these types of webinars, but they're not actually reaching out to the politicians, to the policymakers. So what do they have are not collective. So it's actually building up their own shores, their own territories, without actually trying to collaborate on how to do a concerted effort on sustainability and protecting forest cover. As I mentioned, your population is, for example, in Nigeria, your population is 218 million, and your land area is 1 million. So you have, when you try to find out the population density of your country, I discovered that there's only 218 people per square kilometer. With regards to sustainability of a population per hectare, so you can actually sustain a population of 5,000 per square kilometer. So that's about 50 people per hectare. Given your situation in Nigeria, you can have, when you try to divide your population as to the ratio of your population to hectares, you only have 2.18 persons per hectare. So actually, you are 25 times less than what is supposed to be sustainable. So actually, you can sustain your population considering how low the population compared to your country size. Do you follow me, Shehu? Do you follow us? So you actually, Nigeria can sustain your population. So because we have to focus on what is local and within our realm of adaptation and sustainability, not to the global where we cannot actually reach out and imagine statistics that is not really close to our hearts. So when we talk about the question you pose, and it's also a question you have to answer in your own country. So how can you support that? With regards to traditional agriculture or industrialized agriculture. So will we adapt modern agricultural techniques to shore up or to sustain a tract of land, a plot of land where we can produce more without actually resorting to destruction or too much chemical fertilizers while relying on organic fertilizers to boost production. So when we talk about production with regards especially to Nigeria, you can sustain since you only your population vis-a-vis density to sustainability is only 2.8 2.8 per 2.18 actually per hectare. So you can sustain your your uh, your population with that. I hope I answer your question, sir.
Very wonderfully well.
Very wonderful, sir.
From that very perspective of the population size. A good,
Okay, okay.
A good fact.
Okay, so thank you for clearing that, Dr. Sahid. Now, with regards to Armin Chi, is it Armin Chi, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, Amin Chu or Amin Chis. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. And Jaimo and Jennifer. So you mentioned about sustainability development with regards to individual roles and society roles. So this is my challenge to you. You have defined them well within the realm of sustainability. So that is quite commendable since all you three describe the particular individual roles and with regards to awareness, innovation, entrepreneurship, lifelong learning, and adaptation, as well as societal role on policy, equity, advocacy activities, activism, and corporate responsibility. So, so you got it there. So I'm posing you also a challenge. Can you cite examples where there are collaboration government, government, NGOs, and academe with regards to holistic. So I'm not particular as to how Nigeria is doing well with regards to collaboration among supposedly the ones that are actually experts, government, academe, and NGOs. So where will you place yourself as your role as an example to actually your role in sustainability? So I would like to hear actually when you're going to present, it is not a matter of presenting it according to how you define sustainability, but also your particular role, your specific role. What have you done in the name of sustainability? So the next time when we present, I would like to hear more on your participation, how you participated. That since that I have graduated from this particular course, or are actually taking the course or about to take the course about sustainability, kindly cite examples of your personal action, of your actual responsibility as to your participations with regards to sustainability. So, so, so then, may I move on, Dr. Sahid?
Yes. Move on,
As
sir.
to Christian,
Move on, sir.
I like your name, Christian, because it's easy to pronounce it. Okay, the way you showed the statistics is quite commendable. I like when you showed the projection statistics with regards to electronics and waste. So when you try to show that, kindly state that there's always the mathematical difference for every year of growth of waste. So in essence, you're showing 2% increase of waste. So you kindly point that out, especially to those who are not mathematical or numerical literate. So we're going to include others, especially those who are not mathematical. Then you try to explain it in simpler terms, that there's always a 2% increase. So, but luckily and fortunately, you were able to have that analysis with regards to risks and health. That's also commendable. So, so why is it now? The question is, why is it that the lifespan of electronics and electrical is that time frame only? So let me give you why that's so. So companies worldwide, they always make electronics and electrical uh, short. Its lifespan short. So they have a business practice. They called it planned obsolescence. So for 5 years, you're already done with the microwave, done with the refrigerator. Then you buy another one. So you'll be able to save within the 5 years period. Your wife or you'll be looking for another product, which is more pleasing to the eyes, which is more new. And since you have that affordability, you can consumer spend. You buy another one, not thinking of the that it can be still be used. So, but when regards to also that planned obsolescence, usually all those electronics and electrical things have a terminal life of 10 to 13 years until it died actually. So don't let it die before your hands, huh? So it's 10 to 13 years. When we talk about time to failure, that's the term for electronics, time to failure. So it's always planned obsolescence. So I also give you an example. When you talk about the light bulb, it's quite hot here in the Philippines, about 44 degrees. I don't know how hot is there now, Dr. Shahid. So the light bulb, it used to be there's a mafia. So when they talk, actually they perfected the light bulb that can stand 20, 30 years during the 1920s. We're talking about 1920s. 1930s. They even there's a light bulb in somewhere in America or Germany. I forgot what country is that. Until now, it's already 100 years, but still the bulb continues to light. Imagine 100 years and it still continues to bulb. Why then our our light bulb before the advent of LED flash bulbs, why do they have a shorten? Because of planned obsolescence. So all those lamp companies, light bulb companies met secretly and then they try to say, let's just put it for 4 to 8 years. So money continues to come in. Dr. Sahid, Jamu, Aminchi, Jennifer, uh, Christian, and Shihu. So when we talk about sustainability and development, good that you describe about development which is positive, but there's also the negative effect of how business or how money comes into play, and how revenue plays into the profits of business entrepreneurs when they can think of what comes next if we perfect above and there's no more business since we already given above that will already light their houses for an eternity. So what will happen to business if you just give them, and after paying, there's no more light to buy. There's no one coming to buy, right? So when we talk about now is how to handle waste efficiently. Good that you mentioned about how the first world, how Europe comes to, uh, they did not come to terms, especially Lithuania. I saw how small it was, but it expanded from 2004 to 2025, if I remember. I did not write everything since I just tried to remember it by the glance and try to incorporate, integrate everything. So every European country it goes beyond the bracket 20 times than their initial economic waste. So it is how now how we recycle, how we think of long term, and how to make our electrical uh, how to actually bridge and connect the lifespan and their consumer taste. Remember, companies will always consider how consumer spending go, how consumer spending go, and in particular when it comes to marketing, commercialism, advertising, people will try to buy always new. So they don't care about, since they have money, they care less because they can afford. Here in no, in the Philippines, as much as possible, I'm not generalizing it. We try
Dr.
to
Sir,
save on money. Yes.
Dr. Sir, can you summarize now so that we can wrap up? We can go on
Yes,
and
yes.
on.
So, do I have a time limit on this? Because I'm actually monopolizing the time. So, I will cut short now. I will cut short.
Yes, yes. Yes, please summarize now in 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, in 2 minutes. So, dear researchers, thank you for your time. So you just try to, when you try to make research, you also cite your personal experiences, because that gives more potency to research, actual experience, how technology, how life, how you apply knowledge to what is now happening in your life, in your community, in your family, in your country, and globally. So when we try to build on existentialism, on approach to education as to progressive education, as to social reconstructionist approach. Well, when you try to bridge or connect what is happening in the academe, in the world around us, and if there's inequity or injustice, then we try to integrate and we try to help out in our own little way. So much so that everything that we say, everything that we think about, then we try to move it with action, with inspiration, with activism, with advocacy. So that's all for me. I'm Dr. Noli Calderon from the Philippines. Mabuhay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know if they have an educator and a researcher and a scholar in their house, yes, it can be. But when I was preparing the posters, I used to be very conscious of who to put on the posters, and when we come on board, how to select the speakers, because I remember a time when the Sakapi and Professor Hart was actually engaging in a conversation like this, and they spent like 30 minutes. Wow, what happened? We are stealing the show from everybody. But it is well expected, it's still learning. We are all learning now. We enjoy you, Dr. Cadero. Thank you so much. And
Thank
let's
you.
have the remark and closing remark from Professor Bishnu. Thank you so much for the patience. Always. Thank you so much, Professor Bishnu.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are very audible.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Said Adivashi. First of all, I express my sincere thanks, gratitude, and also congratulations to Shehu Adiyai sir, Miss Aminichi madam, Christian sir, Jamui, Dhaunsi sir, Jennifer madam. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Yes. So thank you
so.
Yes, thank you so much for your very valuable presentation. You have explained very nicely, and first of all, I come to Shahu Adiyai sir. He nicely presented the stakeholder engagement towards helping to achieving the sustainable development goal. It is a very important thing. because someone took initiative to engage the stakeholders. The main goal is to achieve the sustainable development specified by the United Nations. Actually, we are the global community, part of the global community, and stakeholder also a part of the global community. So our responsibility to create awareness, make engagement to the people from the society, from the nations, to the better directions, so that they engaged and they realize the actual things, how to achieve the sustainable development goals. So Shehu Adey sir has nicely explained his views, what is the role of stakeholders, what is the significance and advantage, benefits the stakeholder can provide to the society. In turn, it's the helping to achieve the sustainable development goal. So thank you, Shehu Adey sir. Thank you very much. Your presentation you have given a valuable input on the stakeholder engagement towards achieving the sustainable development goal. My voice is clear? Okay. So next, Miss Aminichi madam, she also explained the individual role towards achieving sustainable development goal. She also explained from the grassroots level how individual persons from the society can engage societal people towards achieving sustainable development goal. Also, she explained nicely that how individual persons can part the role, can be a part of the achieving sustainable development goal, like resource optimization, lifestyle choices, and many different things which actually satisfy the sustainable development goal. And she also explained that individual having a huge potential to develop and develop a team from the society. Individual can lead a team which who can direct towards achieving the sustainable development goal from the society. So thank you, Miss Aminichi madam. Thank you so much for your nice presentation. Then Christian sirs also explained very important things, the how electronics waste has a significant role in the our surrounding environment, because it's a critical waste. Unless we are not properly used or properly conserve this waste, it can harm to the society. So that is the main things Kishan sir has explained. Kishan sir, are you here in the platform? I think no. So I think line is got disconnected, isn't it? Adivasi sir also not there.
Yes, sir. His line got disconnected.
Yes. From the Dr. Adivasi hand, line has disconnected. Because recording has stopped. So this is the things, and again Samuel Dahunsi, he is also not here. He also, Mr. Jamil Dahunsi also explained his views on sustainable development goal, how the 70th sustainable development goal playing role in the society. He explained broadly, and Jennifer madam also explained very critical things, critical observation. She explained that every individual can part a team of sustainable development goal. She explained very nicely that how every individual can save environment, can save energy, can save resources, and many other things connected to sustainable development goal, and how every individual have a potential. Your attitude towards sustainable development goal and your attitude to develop the societal aspect It's a very generous things you have explained. Thank you so much from my sides. Thank you so much.